I was looking for the record button, but of course I've already pressed record like 3 hours ago. Hi, I'm Marsh. I'm totally blanking. It's so embarrassing. Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and today we are playing some hot dogs. It's been a while since I did this, but Paint King 1 in the chat here requested it a little while ago, and I was just playing Mono White Heroic and then Mono Green Infect, and wanted a third very fast go fast deck that I wanted to play, and so we're doing this. And so we are playing a whole bunch of mountains and Simian Spirit Guides to be able to put out our 2-drop creatures on turn 1 if possible, Immolating Soul Eater and Kiln Fiend. We also have a Crow and Skyguard and Satyr Hoplite as some other cheaper creatures to start snowballing. Some Ancestral Angers to pump and give trample. Assault Strobe. We have Brute Force, Furor of the Bitten, which is particularly good on the Hoplite. Temur Battle Rage, of course, buffs our team. Well, one creature. Lava Dart. Reckless Charge is an interesting one, I think, here. Just a one of, but it can give haste and a big buff. Mutagenic Growth, of course, and Apostle's Blessing for some protection. Sideboard, we have another Blessing, a couple Flaring Pain. War Squeak, Raise the Effigy. Some Pyroblasts, and the Festivities, and a relic, or 3 Relics of Progenitus. So let's take this for a league and see how we do. Please leave that in. I desperately need that to be in the YouTube video. I mean, we'll see how it feels in the edit, but I gotta tell you, that would be the very start of the video. Not sure I can start the video that way. It was bad enough doing it here on stream where it lives forever in, like, what, 30-ish people's memory. 31! Oh, God. So, it probably won't make it to the YouTube video. Delete VOD. Yeah, honestly, you know what? We're just shutting down the stream right now. It would hook the viewers. Oh, for sure. People are loving to see those blunders.
Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. I've written a comprehensive guide on how to play White Weenie in Pauper, including my ideal stock list, over 30 sideboard matchups, and a sideboard cheat sheet, which gives you a very easy snapshot view and what to sideboard for every single matchup. I also have guides for Black Sack and Esper Affinity. Each guide is only $15, and if you buy one, you will get all future updates that I ever make to that guide for free. I also offer coaching, so if you're interested in upping your Pauper game for any of the decks that I'm very proficient in, or if you're interested in having me play your deck in a future video, you can do a deck donation, which is the only way you'll ever see me playing Cycle Storm or Flickertron.
Hoplite. I mean, this isn't terrible. It's not a lot of recurring damage, but I can get a Hoplite up to like a 4/4-ish. I think we'll give it a try, so YouTube people will never find out. I mean, that's the thing. If we don't put it in the VOD, in the YouTube video, then it'll just be our little secret. We're the only ones who get to know that I don't know how to speak. You have to understand, like, the videos that I'm not streaming, I do like, sometimes I do like 4 or 5 intros because it just keeps coming out wrong, which I guess I've accidentally left a couple extra intros in a couple videos, so I'm sure some people are aware of that, but generally I try to clean it up a little bit, but I'm unable to do that here. Ooh, Chrono Crusader is actually kind of fun because I get to charge it, Reckless Charge, and then make some extra guys and haste and attack for a bunch. They could Spell Pierce or whatever, but I still get the extra 1/1. You've fallen into our trap card. We've talked about the blunder so much that cutting it out would make this banter make no sense. You know? Screw you. You're right. And there's no way I'm going to edit out all of this because it's literally I'm talking about it over gameplay. How dare you? All right, they're going to mental note. Mill a counterspell on a Sleep with the Dead. Ponder. That is a terror already, if they have it. Oh, they don't have it. That's great. Ooh, Temur Battle Rage. So I can pump here, pump here. That's 5. That's lethal if they don't have counter magic, which they could, but we will find out. Brute Force and Temur Battle Rage. Force Spike. Gotten by the Force Spike. We do hit for 8. So we got a 6, and we have a Reckless Charge and an Apostle's Blessing, so we might still be able to get there next turn. Demon Furior. We'll go second from the top. The charge can give us haste, so it's not the worst thing ever. Cryptic Serpent. Mutagenic Growth. Because I can charge here and then give protection from blue, so it's 4 unblockable, but then I only have... Oh, wait, I make 2 more soldiers. Okay, yeah, that will be lethal. Make 2 more soldiers, and then we can kill. Blue. Nice. That was close. I thought I was only making one more soldier, but we got there. Relics are probably... I don't know. We already have 4 Pyroblasts, so it feels like a lot. I should probably also read War Squeak. I just was like, oh yeah, this is a card. Oh, it's +1/+1 haste, and creature and opponent controls can't block. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I cannot bring in 7 cards, and they're a mono blue deck, so I think Pyroblast is definitely better. Charge was actually great. Won us the game there. Not sure another card would have done as much. I mean, I guess the Ancestral Anger, the Trample's pretty irrelevant. Their guys are either enormous or, you know, a Delver, which I guess Trample's nice for, but Temur Battle Rage, for the same reason maybe I cut one of those, although Battle Rage is obviously very much for the double strike. But can't keep this one. Oh, it's pretty close, but we only have 1 land. We're on the draw. I'm going to keep it. It's so close that I think it's better to keep than go down more, because it gets really hard to keep a hand with like 5 cards, or keep a decent one anyway. Mental Note right away. They don't want to even bluff a Force Spike, which is interesting. They have a Brainstorm. Not going to counter that. If they go for a Force Spike, or not a Force Spike, a Mental Note here, I might Pyro that, but no. Of course, we get the worst mana source here, because I can cast a Soul Eater, but then they could have a Force Spike. But I mean, am I going to wait? Yes, I think I am going to wait. Usually I wouldn't, but I mean, we do lose the game if this happens. Thought Scour. Okay, I kind of want them to have to draw those cards. I think I am going to do it and hope that their hand is like just all serpents and like maybe lands or something. I don't know. Hopefully they're Brainstorm locked and this screws them over in some way. Another Brainstorm. Okay. Less likely now. Island, Thought Scour, Demon Fury Lorien, and there's a Terror. Well, we get the Mountain, which means I can play Soul Eater without having to use Spirit Guide. Unfortunately, the Terror's going to be able to slam into us, which makes us lose... They have a Gut Shot? Okay. Which makes us lose life, which means that this is less likely to kill them. That almost makes me want to, like, Furor on this, just in case they draw another Gut Shot. I think we will. Oh, let's not do it during combat, please. I don't know. They clearly don't have another one in hand, because they would have done it in response, but if they draw another one, then this will prevent that from happening. I mean, if they attack us down to 13, I can only pump for +6, but it's 8 with the Furor, and then Temur Battle Rage, it's +6. It might still be lethal, actually, if they don't have a counterspell or anything. Crowan Crusader. I mean, I could go for it. Like, I could pump once, Temur Battle Rage, and then if they counter that, then I don't go for it all the way. I guess I don't need a Temur. I could just Assault Strobe. Right, because this is 3. I could pump for +6, so it's 18 damage. Yeah, let's Assault Strobe and see what they do. They don't counter. I have to attack. I'm not going to play around a Boomerang effect or a Vapor Snag. I think I play around a Gut Shot by paying a red here. Let me try to deal lethal. Hey, we won the match. Nice. So if they had a Gut Shot, obviously paying the extra life would kill us. I wanted to leave up the red so I could play in a Crowan Crusader as a chump blocker, but I realized that, like, I'm going to die no matter what. Like, I either win here or I lose, I think. So I think it was fine. So, all right, we won that one. That was cool. A little bit of patience actually did a lot of work there. All right, we have double Hoplite. I'm going to keep this one. It's 1 land, but the Hoplite, we actually have a lot of ways to grow them. And, yeah. So hopefully we draw land, but if we don't, like, I can still just grow it with, like, Ancestral Anger, which draws us another card. Also, you can Lava Dart your own Hoplite to get it a couple counters. Looks like we're against Grixis, maybe Jund. Could still be either. Could discard Lava Dart. It's the one that has relevance from the hand, but it also clears a refurb. I kind of think another Hoplite is just not that necessary. I have a Kiln Fiend already for a second creature. Spirit Guide is okay. I could just get down a Kiln Fiend. I think we're going to do this, though. +1/+0 and Trample, plus a counter, and a draw card. Try to hit that land drop. Ooh, alright, we're going to go for the Furor then. I think it's Furor, like Fury. That is 6 trample damage. It's also big enough to survive 1 Galvanic Blast, which is pretty relevant, since we're not holding up Apostle's Blessing, which we probably should do next, because this seems pretty good. Protection from artifacts may be huge. Yes, the Apostle's Blessing being able to give pro artifacts which can just be unblockable against them, could be really good. Glad it doesn't say colorless. I agree. Sometimes I wish it said colorless for like Eldrazi spawn and stuff, but no, here it's great. Okay, so I could play a Kiln Fiend, or I could just Lava Dart their refurb, attack for 5, and then next turn I can Apostle's Blessing, pro their guys, and then Brute Force. I think that's the play. Because they could also have a Galvanic, so they could have like blocked and gone for Galvanic, which I could protect against anyway. They're going to crack Spell Bomb. I don't know if I want to Lava Dart. I don't think so, because I want to have Brute Force and Apostle's Blessing next turn. Refurb. Well, this Kiln Fiend is irrelevant at this point. Monitor. Look at all those artifacts. And munitions. Perfect. No notes. Pro artifacts. Brute Force. Attack for 10. Sorry, I'm literally forced to attack you. I can't not attack. All right. We have just one Raise the Effigy, which is our land destruction or artifact destruction spell. Another Apostle's Blessing is probably good. And that's probably it. I feel like Crusader's not great. They have a lot of blockers. It also just dies to Krark, so I think we cut that. I don't know if Pyroblast is worth it, because some of their blue cards are relevant, not to mention they'll probably bring in Blue Blasts. I think that's probably not worth it. But this Crusader is kind of a waste. I don't know. It doesn't seem that good. We'll do one Pyroblast, see if that saves us. All right, one land again. We don't have a one-drop creature. Yeah. Soul Eater's such a risky play all the time, but if we can't have a reliable path to it, it's just not good enough. Same here. They're also mulliganing a lot. Get rid of one Teamer Battle Rage, and I mean, these 3 cards is 20 damage, so I think I have to get rid of the Anger. I just need to have another mana and also not have our Kiln Fiend killed. Killed Fiend, more like. Got him. A little protection isn't bad. Blood Fountain. Mountain. So I could Kiln Fiend, and then if I don't lose our guy, I could kill next turn. But I think we should probably play around at least one Galvanic. They're going to bargain. No land for them is real nice. Brute Force is nice because I don't necessarily have to use the Apostle's Blessing to protect against a Galvanic then. So I could use this for something else. Ooh, Wellspring. And they had missed a land drop before. Well, look at that. I believe this is going to be lethal. By a mile. Probably shouldn't have done the Brute Force technically so I could have Apostle's Blessing up, but I'm not actually expecting them to have anything for 0 mana in an Affinity deck. All right. Well, we got that match. That was cool. And we're going fast, which is good. Ideally, we can finish the rest of the matches in like 20-ish minutes. Might be a little ambitious, but all right. We're on the draw, and we don't have any acceleration, but this hand just looks pretty reasonable. I think we're going to keep. We're against Jeskai or Familiars, maybe. Crusader's not a bad draw on turn 1. Get a land. Could go Furor and Anger, but I kind of think I want to like Kiln Fiend and then Soul Eater and Reckless Charge it next turn. All of these creatures might be too much. If it is Jeskai and they like Breath Weapon us, it could be bad, but I don't know. Augur Bolas makes me think it is probably Jeskai. They're tapping out. I guess they haven't played a land, but still. Union. Yeah, if we get like Salt Strobe or something, we could be in the money. All right, here I could charge on the Soul Eater, or I could just Furor here, charge, and Anger. That's probably better. Anger. I mean, this guy's going to be the one growing, so we definitely Anger here. Let's draw a card, see what we get. Yeah, Furor is best here, but then we can charge Kiln Fiend. It's already hitting for a bunch. Yeah, I think it's fine. And I don't think there's a reason to swing at this soldier. The only reason to play Snowlands is Scred, so they have red 100%. That's not entirely true. First of all, there are other mechanical reasons to run Snowlands in Pauper. For example, Thermokarst. If you are playing Thermokarst, you can run Snowlands so that you can kill your own land to gain 1 life. Obviously, I'm not expecting that here. Arkham's Astrolabe, maybe not so much. But also with white-blue, they could be playing Old Tireless Tribe combo, theoretically, which uses Whiteout, which cares about Snowlands. So there are some other mechanical reasons. Oh, look at that. We won. But also, I think you're not taking into account that people sometimes just run them for aesthetics. They like them better. and they don't care if there is technically a downside of if your opponent plays Thermokarst. They will sometimes run them just because. And so the reason I say it, Azorius Familiars, is because for whatever reason, there are a couple decks that people specifically will often run Snowlands for with no mechanical advantage, and Azorius Familiars is one of those. I think it might in part be because Kalikai's like Snowlands, and so he runs them, and he's a big Azorius player, and so a lot of people are copying lists from him and stuff like that. But yeah, there are a couple minor mechanical reasons, and then also aesthetics. People do really just like the look of them sometimes. So anyway, yeah, so when I see them, I assume it's probably Scred, but it's, sometimes there's a reason, other reasons. All right, I feel like Pyroblasts and maybe another Apostle's Blessing, although maybe the Blessing isn't as relevant, but I guess, for Screds it is. I played someone who ran them for aesthetics some years ago, and I borrowed a Ponza deck. The life I gained from a Thermokarst won me the game. I've never seen that actually be relevant, but I would hate to be the one playing Snowlands just because, and then have it be relevant. Especially mad people, like crazy people who do it in burn decks, and it's like, life is the whole thing, and then you're running Snowlands in your burn deck, and it's like, if you get screwed over, it's not my fault. I think Crusaders and Angers are probably the thing to go. Again, they're probably going to have breath weapons and stuff, and Anger, they're not going to have that many creatures, so trampling doesn't seem that important. I don't know if you already talked about it, but what do you think of the new Seeker Bow combo? I did talk about it a little bit. It's decent. I think it might be okay. I think it's going to be in the same realm as like the Pizza combo deck, which is like not the best thing ever, but maybe a formidable like tier 3 combo deck. But you have to play a lot of bad cards to make it playable, so I don't know. Doesn't seem the best to me. All right, we have turn 1 Soul Eater or Kiln Fiend. And then I can also put a Furor on it, which means it doesn't die to a Scred right away. And then I have double Brute Force, so I probably do the Kiln Fiend. Soul Eater could get a free 9 damage, but this, I think it's this. And I think we are going to go for this because it would protect against a Scred, which is just a thought. Fell asleep, I'm assuming we 4-1'd with Infect. You are correct, Ben. You be nice to Pizza. Phil, look, Pizza's great. Okay, well, that's annoying. We all know Pizza's great. I'm not saying anything bad about it, but you can't tell me it's a tier 1 deck, you know what I'm saying? Now we got a Pyroblast. I expect it to be the realm of Brood-Scale combo. I do not expect it to be anywhere near as good as Brood-Scale combo. Every time people have compared anything to Brood-Scale, it's been nowhere near as good. For example, the Pizza combo, everyone was saying, oh, it's the new Brood-Scale. It's not anywhere near that. Brood-Scale didn't die to Lava Dart. Sadistically didn't get Hydroblasted. Those are both very relevant reasons. And part of why I don't think it's going to be that good. Brood-Scale didn't need to have... Brood-Scale could have Summoning Sickness, whereas this one can't. And yeah, there's a number of reasons why it's worse. Brood-Scale's abilities were just better, like making a guy and being able to pump itself were both relevant things. Being able to untap a creature is pretty irrelevant. Maybe there will be the right build where it could matter, and the bow is just kind of useless, whereas the Sadistically was not the worst thing ever. All is right with the world again. Exactly. So no, I think it'll be worse than Pizza, to be honest. Worse than the Pizza combo. I could be wrong, obviously. I'll be happy to be shown my own clip of me saying this when it's breaking the meta. Augur Bolas Scred. I'm just gonna go to the next one. We're not here to sit all day, and this hand is not gonna win any games. We played around the Scred, which I think was good. We couldn't play around the... we don't have any creature. Otherwise, this hand would be great. We couldn't have played around the Blue Blast, unfortunately. This one is pretty good. It's pretty close. I think we keep Mutagenic, Brute Force. So I guess I get rid of these. Then I go for the turn 1. And if we get Hydroblasted, we will die, which it looks like we're going to. Lucky them. Every time. It's outrageous. It's unfair. This is, honestly, Hydroblast might be the main reason that this deck can't compete as much as Infect or Mono White Heroic or anything, is because we just lose to one of the most prevalent sideboard cards in the whole format. All right. We are on the play. I'm going to keep this one. It's a 1-lander again, but we do have the Hoplites with pretty decent amount of cards to buff them. Charge technically can be cast twice, although we need some more lands for that. Lava Dart can be cast twice, and Mutagenic's free, so it could be a fast start. I, for one, think you're doing great. Ben, these are getting out of hand. It's too much. It's too many 4-1 references. It's more than the number of 4-1s I've gotten in my entire career. Ooh, that's great. Okay, I kind of want to hoplite and charge it, but I probably should get a Soul Eater down. I could mutagenic this for an extra damage, but I don't think we're going to right now. Hello, love Pauper content. You're in the right spot. Hiding tech deck by not trophying. That's why I'm always tanking and getting losses, is just so that people aren't quite as aware of the deck I'm playing. And then I can keep it secret. Keep it safe. Okay, we can hoplite, reckless charge, and then I can mutagenic growth whatever they block. I guess if they block the Soul Eater, I'll just like pump it a couple times. But that's fine. I like how you get a single 1/4 in recent memory and it becomes a meme. I mean, 1/4 in recent memory, but also like 1,000 actual 4-1s. Like I do get 4-1s quite a bit, I will say. Ooh, they block here. That's perfect. Actually, we should make sure we can not just win. I could pump. Well, I need a mutagenic growth, so I'm at 18 virtually, which means this can pump for 16, so 8. So this is 9 damage. So they're at 10, and then this can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not quite lethal, but pretty close. I think I want to keep this hoplite alive then, unfortunately. Pizza won't ever be tier 1 because it's not MTGO friendly, which means it loses some of its visibility. I agree there. Sorry, I'm doing math. I guess we're just pumping this and then not pumping anymore because I could get like a double strike later. Yeah, I don't personally think that that's the only reason that Pizza won't become tier 1. Like, I think that a 3-card combo like that, unless we find like one card that finds them all or something, like, you know, not that Walls is tier 1 or whatever, but like Walls is technically like a 3-card combo, but like there are so many cards that strip every single wall that it's like kind of okay. Whereas it seems hard to find a card that's going to search up all those different ones, but I don't know. Like Azorius Familiars is not particularly MTGO friendly, and it's still a very popular good deck. Teachings, yeah, Teachings finds two parts of the combo, but it doesn't even find like the Devoted Druid. I'm saying one card that can find like all 3. You know, I feel like Pizza combo isn't that bad to pull off. There's certainly worse things people still do. Teachings Muddle Elf. Oh, fair enough. Hey, I'm not the pizza pilot, so that makes sense. But that's a lot of mana. But you're right. I guess that is a good thing I hadn't thought about. What do we do here? I mean, I guess I charge here without trample. I guess I want to dart these 2 spawn probably. I don't need to do it here. Yeah, no, I can't charge and then also dart the spawn. So maybe I just do this and I don't dart the spawn. I don't know. I think I have one more 4-1 pun to go. I'm just not sure what it is yet. Going to workshop some ideas. Perfect. I'm eagerly awaiting. Say what you want about UV sets, but I don't mind the effect those decks have had on White Weenie and Pizza combo. Fair enough. Ram through. That's annoying. I can mutagenic growth to make it 4 power, or a 4/4, but they could double sack. It still dies. Which means I probably just let it go. If I had the Lava Dart to kill these off, that wouldn't have mattered. Whatever. We'll swing. I guess I'll swing with both. I could just trade like 8 life for the Chrysalis, I guess, and both spawn. It's not great. Ideally, they block this here, and then I just mutagenic eat it, but I don't think that's going to happen. Block like that. All right, we'll just deal 1. Avenging Hunter. Okay. If we get like a Team or Battle Rage, we'll be in a good spot. I mean, I can already Lava Dart the spawn to make it so they have to like block both of these if they want me to not get there. Another Soul Eater. All right. Well, we're going to Lava Dart here. Going to Pizza combo IRL soon. Gotta put the oven on. Nice. That is truly the best combo. So they could double block so that I can't get the Undercity, but then I get to trade this with either one, and I get to eat the Chrysalis here because of this mutagenic growth, assuming they don't have like a bolt or something. And then I get to spend 6 life to trade these. I could just pump it a couple times here, but I'd rather be able to play another Soul Eater. So they get to scry, unfortunately, because I need them to whiff so that I can get in pretty well here, but we could be okay. They don't want to forge onto my guy? Outrageous. Uncalled for, honestly. Scry 1 at the top. How rude. That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's unsportsmanlike conduct, honestly. And another Chrysalis, of course. They have something else too? That's just not fair. That ain't right. Come on, give me Teamer Battle Rage. Please stop giving me Soul Eaters. I'm still attacking with both. If they block this here, I trade the Lava Dart for the Chrysalis, but I lose the Hoplite too, so I don't really want that to happen. But I think we got to keep attacking. They could like double chump, and then I just play another Soul Eater. That's fine. They might chump here, block here, so I have to pay some more life, and they get a spawn out of it. Yeah, which is fine. Play a Soul Eater, and we pass. They can goad something, although I'm attacking every turn anyway, so that doesn't make much difference. Oh, they are going to. Fair enough. Attack with the Chrysalis. I could just chump. I mean, this guy's kind of useless if I don't chump, because then I don't have any life, but I have mana I can put into it, I guess. I have a Crew Shock. Hoplite. I guess we're not dead yet. Attack with this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They could block here and then like try to scavenge this onto one of them, but yeah, it's not the best. Because this guy's got Trample, which is already probably better. I have a Hoplite to chump here. And I think I Lava Dart my own Hoplite here to make it a 5/5 so their Crew Shot can't attack in for free. Or rather, attack in and force a trade. I get to draw a card here. I mean, I'm probably dead, but I want to concede, but part of me doesn't let me concede if there's any possibility I could win, and there still is. Losing the land hurts because like one of the best ways I could have won is like Ancestral Anger into Teamer Battle Rage for like 12 damage, plus maybe more. Right, because they would have pumped this twice, so it would have been 16 damage. Saga Wilding. Best deck to bring to a league or challenge on MTGO. I mean, there are a million factors to that. I generally think the best deck to bring is whatever deck you're most comfortable with. Like, a deck that you think is good in the meta, but also comfortable enough with. So, like, I could just throw out, like, I think Jund Wildfire is a good deck you could probably bring and would be okay. But if you don't play Jund Wildfire, then that's not going to be great. Apostle's Blessing is so bad because they have colorless creatures. You could certainly go with Elves, Grixis Affinity, or Mono Red Madness, which are some of the most prevalent decks, and obviously they all do pretty well. I don't think any of those decks are bad. Jund Wildfire equals a 3-hour league. Well, first of all, we're talking about a challenge. Oh, they did say league or challenge. You're right. That's only if you play slowly. I gotta tell you, I've played a lot of Jund Wildfire leagues, and very rarely do they go to 3 hours. So you might just need to speed up a little bit. I'm going to keep this one. It's really aggressive. Hoplite into Reckless Charge into, if I want, Brute Force. And it has an extra counter. I mean, I guess so. Why not? Yeah, so challenge, obviously, you'll be there the same amount of time regardless. A league, look, if you want to play a fast league, that's exactly what we've been doing today. Infect, Mono Red, Kiln Fiend. Look at this. We're about to kill this Arbor Elf. Oh. Or Mono White Heroic. I would say my average Jund Wildfire league is probably 2 hours, but I would also say my average league in general is probably about 2 hours. So that's not really that big of a thing. I've played Mono Black Sack and Golgari Pestilence IRL, but wanted to try something different and stronger. Stronger than Black Sack? I don't understand what you mean. All right, well, if they don't chump block here, we have lethal. So we'll see if they want to do that. They do. I think Golgari Pestilence is a very good deck, honestly. Harder to, like, difficult on MTGO, but also, like, less difficult because as long as you play fast enough, you're not going to time out. Black Sack is in an awful place right now. Believe me, I know. That's why I haven't been bringing it to everything. All right, we're going to Reckless Charge on this just so that I can use the expensive card to give this enough power to not die to the Repurposer. Mono Black Sack does well in leagues. It's a good deck that's not in a great spot, but depending on how well you play the deck and also who you go up against, you can definitely do okay with it. What did they take with us a million years ago? I probably should have checked. I was hoping it wasn't going to become relevant. They chose Forest. Okay, it's all gone. Well, let's see if they want to double block. That'd be cool, I guess. Problem with Golgari Pestilence is the timer for me, just not very used to the interface. I understand that. If you get to the point where you're comfortable with it, then like I think it's easier for your opponent to time out against it. But no, if you're not comfortable with it, that's totally fair. What are bad matchups for sack? Like Terror? No, Terror is in fact the number one best matchup, I would say. Like Mono Blue Terror is the reason to play Black Sack. Bad matchups are Cart Clan Shaman ones, Jund and Grixis Affinity, and just general like removal piles, Gardens, Pestilence, but also like Boros Synth plays so many removal spells that can be tough. Things like that. White Weenie's also tough because they have a lot of chump blockers and damage prevention. Anyway, yeah. Other decks, I mean, if you just look at like, top meta decks and pick one that you like the look of, you'll probably find something that's decent. You could do Rakdos Burn or Mono Red Burn. Either of them are, fine. Terror, I think Dimir Terror is a little bit better right now because there's so many elves, and Mono Blue struggles with elves a little bit, but either Terror deck is pretty good. I think Dimir Fairies is not in a bad spot right now, and a very good and fun deck. If you like Control, yeah, there's some options. It feels for me that in Mono Black Sack, there are unplayable matchups like Mono Red Madness, Black Red Madness, Affinity, White Weenie. There's so many, plus the hands are just inconsistent. It can be an inconsistent deck for sure. I would not say either of the Madnesses are unplayable matchups. They are difficult. As someone who's very familiar with Black Sack, I think they're okay matchups, but I think that comes with a lot of practice. So if you don't have the most practice with those matchups or like know them in and out, it can be difficult, I will admit. Certainly Affinity and White Weenie are tough, but I don't know. I don't think they're all unplayable or anything. Grixis Affinity? Sure. Do Grixis Affinity. It's a good deck. It's got some weaknesses, of course. Artifact Hate, you want to make sure to play around if you can. And you're just sometimes going to get stomped by Artifact Hate that you can't do much about. But yeah, it's a good deck, though. Definitely can get you some wins in leagues and even challenges. I don't know. It feels every time I cast my Feeder Beetle, they have a Bolt/Lava Dart. Maybe I'm bad. I mean, I'm not saying you're bad, even if you don't have as much experience or anything. I would say, like, if Dart is Dart, something to play around for sure, but it's not something that I'm usually that concerned about because I just make sure that I have like enough fodder and sack outlets on the board. So like you don't want to play a Carrion Feeder or a Beetle turn 1 against them, right? Because then they dart it and you lose that guy. So you wait until you've played some fodder and then you play the Carrion Feeder and then you play the Beetle, and if they try to kill it with that, then you sack stuff, It's definitely tough for sure. As is drawing 6 lands in our 17 land deck. But it's a tough matchup, and honestly, I'm realizing it's intricate enough. Maybe I should make a video just explaining like that matchup and how to play it, because I think that could be interesting. I guess I'm just taking it over and over. Avenging Hunter, yeah. Of course, sometimes it gives them reach, especially doing it in response to a sack. Yeah, it can be tough for sure. I was going to concede, but I guess if we still draw like Ancestral Anger, I mean, if we get really lucky, Anger into Anger into Anger into Temur Battle Rage could definitely win us the game. Although we're going to have to block a bunch here. Both Madness decks are slightly favored, slightly under 60%. They act as the control deck, and so you need to be fodder forward to protect your big dudes. Once it's above 4, so toughness is hard to everything. I agree with most of that. I don't know, slightly under 60% would not be... Oh, they have another one. Under 60%, if you're saying like 58%, that's not slightly favored. That's massively favored. Like, I think people are like, oh, 10% is not that much. 10% is an enormous amount to be favored. 8% is an enormous amount. I think it's like 1 to 2% favored, maybe. Like, if you both know what you're doing. Which is still favored and still relevant, but like, it's a bit of a difference. The Rakdos Madness player, I have definitely gotten my face wrecked. Yeah. Definitely can be tough on both sides. I don't deny that. All right, we're on the draw here, but we do have a turn 1 Soul Eater, so I guess we're keeping. Tron should be good for us. So boring, this deck. I mean, like I said before, it's not my favorite deck ever, but I think it's fine. Feels like you need too much to do well. I mean, the deck is bad. I would agree with that. I don't think needing too much makes it a boring deck necessarily. Ancestral Anger. Hoping to draw a land there, and then I could just do another Anger and hit for a bunch. They're sacking their maps. If we just get a Salt Strobe, we can kill. Mountain's decent. I start with an Anger. There's the Battle Rage, which means as long as I protect our guy, we should be good. On the off chance they get Natural Tron and then it's like Monster Tron and they try to blow this up with a kill ship, I guess. We're holding up Blessing. Boulder Branch Golem. Sure. They go to 18. This can be 18. Excuse me. I got a tickle in my throat. If I get a mountain, I definitely can win. I might as well Lava Dart them. Mountain. Perfect. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? I can give it unblockable or I can just give it +3. And then Teamer Battle Rage. And then +9. So it's dealing 13 twice. 26. Even through a block. It'd be 23. Plus I have a Lava Dart, which could deal 1 more. Alright. We take that game. It does look to be Monster Tron. Raise the FG could be okay blowing that thing up. And Blessing for protection. Trample seems less relevant. I guess War Squeak. Make a thing not be able to block could be okay. You could have dealt 1 more damage if you activated 1 more time. More damage equals better or win. Well, I would have dealt 2 more damage, right? Because I would have had double strike. But unless I'm misremembering, I'm pretty sure activating 1 more time would have killed me. Is that what you're trying to do? You're trying to get me to suicide in this game? I mean, this hand's okay. We have the Soul Eater, some ways to pump it, ways to protect it if it doesn't die right away. Like, their deck's pretty slow, so I feel like this might be fast enough. I could have dealt 1 more damage by sacrificing the mountain to a Lava Dart, paying their face. That could have done that for sure. Mutagenic. Winning at 0 life is the bestest win. You know, it's hard to argue with that. Crack the Candy Trail. Now we get a Spirit Guide. Actually, that's not bad. I was going to be like, ugh. But it does allow us to War Squeak, which gives haste. We get in for 2. I do lose the ability to hold up Apostle's Blessing if they do, like, naturally... They did scry 1 to the top. Turn 1. If they Natural Tron into Kill Ship, I lose the game, probably. Yeah, I think for that reason, since we have the Blessing to give pro artifacts, I think we should just play it a little slow. They do have the Natural Tron, and they have the Kill Ship, but they are not expecting the pro artifacts Apostle's Blessing off a Simian Spirit Guide to keep our guy alive. Now we have Furor. I might as well War Squeak. It's 1 more damage, but it's not giving a thing can't block. I think it's worth it. I can only give +8. So that'd be 12. Yeah. If they have like a Maelstrom Colossus here, we're going to fall behind for sure. If they don't do anything, we might be okay. Even like a Boulder Branch, which gains them some life, gives them a blocker, would be bad. If we get Teamer Battle Rage, obviously we can just win. Cycle of Generosent. That could be a Bramble Worm. Yup. 24. They can. I guess they're probably gonna block, but if they could attack, which actually limits the amount I can pump, because then I can only pump 5 times. Should be +9. Double Strike doesn't kill them, even with the Mutagenic. I gotta stop leaving the stream. Nobody told me you would have 3 aggro decks in a row. I was not necessarily planning 3 aggro decks, or 3 decks, but 2 of them went so fast that I figured I'd do another one. And we decided to do this one, which is your list, because I was looking for something that was another fast deck that was not the 2 I'd already played. So that'll teach you to leave the stream. I mean, don't do that. All right, I could Apostle's Blessing, pump for... This does have to attack. I could pump for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll be at 14, so I can pump for another 6. So that's 11, so that's 15, so that's not lethal. So I think I just swing here. And then they block, and then I Apostle's Blessing, because I got to keep this guy alive. Pro artifacts. Just give pro to red, and I don't need to attack. Oh, yeah, that's going to be real good. 3 for 1-ing ourselves there. Another Kill Ship. Well, that's going to be unfortunate. What were the other matchups? We did a Jund, a Grixis, some other stuff, I think. All right, we'll pump their worm. And pump their worm again. Well, let's see if we can get there in the last one. Yeah, Jund Grixis. There's a Dimir Terror, right? And Jeskai Ephemerate. I think we won against Grixis and Jund, lost against the others. Blue decks are tough, unfortunately. Do you get any reward from playing the DB account? Not specifically. The DB account comes with basically free play points and access to all the cards. So I usually use it for either decks that are brews that I'm not super confident in, or decks that I just don't want to spend the tickets on buying the cards. But yes, any reward that I actually get, like if I trophy and I get a bunch of chests, I can't transfer the chests to any other account, and I already have every card on this account, so it doesn't actually really matter. So unfortunately, it's mostly just for content. It's very nice to have because I can play Mono Green Infect once every 6 months and not have to spend 30 ticks on some Embiggens, but then if I actually do well with that deck, I don't actually get anything out of it. So bit of a double-edged sword. Can we have a tier list of the 3 aggro decks you've played today? Your personal tier list, not order of the best deck. I would probably put them in the order in which I played them, which is, I think Mono White Heroic is both the best and the most interesting to me. It's got the most like back and forth play. It's not all like, it can win on turn 4 or whatever, and it can have some of those uninteractive games, which it is trying to do, but also it has a lot of like decent games that are a little more back and forth. Mono Green Infect feels in between, but definitely closer to the Kiln Fiend, the Hot Dogs lists, in that if it doesn't win on turn 3 or 4, it's harder to win, but it does have a little bit more ways to like get there in the end. And then I think Hot Dogs is like turning it all the way up. Like if we don't win on turn 3, we probably don't win. I think Hoplite is a bit of a difference. Like this is a card that gets good over the course of the game. So if you get a Hoplite early and grow it, you know, maybe you can do well on turn 7 or whatever. But if I like, Soul Eater's only good for like 2 turns. And hey, it could win us the game right here because I get to Soul Eater and I have the Teamer Battle Rage. Like I can just win next turn if they tap out or whatever. But it's a little bit less interesting to me. Or not even if they tap out, they have colorless mana. I don't know what they could possibly do. So this, I can pump +9, so it's 20 damage. Not to mention we have a mutagenic growth. So maybe they have a weird colorless thing I've never heard of before, but gut shot maybe. They could. We've mutagenic growth for that, so we actually are covered. Because we've already dealt 1 and we're dealing 1 more with the Hoplite, so I actually don't have to go all the way in. We'll Battle Rage here, I guess, just to show them. This is 15, 17, 19. So if they have a gut shot, I have mutagenic growth for it. If they have 2 gut shots, I actually would die. But we got there. So 3-2, you can play freely. Exactly. That's the idea of the deck, or the account. Yeah, so we got a 3-2 with it. I mean, did better than we did with Infect, which is not bad. Surprisingly, the deck and like the one-ofs and stuff came in handy. Like the 1 Reckless Charge I thought was going to be kind of a waste, but actually like the haste was relevant, the +3/+0 was relevant, the flashback was relevant in a couple different games. So that was kind of cool. The one of Assault Strobe came up, I think, just once, but that was pretty cool. Lava Dart is always a weird one in this deck because, of course, it buffs Kiln Fiend twice, and also it can clear little blockers, so I like it for both those reasons. And you can target the Hoplite twice with it to grow it. But even though it combos with a lot of our creatures, it feels like it's just not quite as good as everything else, except when we're killing on turn 3 or 2 with a Kiln Fiend. Mutagenics, of course, amazing. Apostle's Blessing. I do really like Fury of the Bitten. I think the previous list that I'd played a while ago had like 4 of these, which I think this plus Hoplite's honestly my favorite part of this deck. So if I were playing a list that I created, I would probably go like 4 and 4 on these. But this is definitely also the less explosive side of the deck. Like I would be wanting to try to make it more consistent, which is with cheaper, less explosive cards. But more consistent ones. And obviously, if you're trying to get a turn 2 or 3 win with a Kiln Fiend or a Soul Eater, that's not quite as good. But Fury of the Bitten doesn't trigger most of the creatures of usual Hot Dogs. That's why it's not played. Well, I wouldn't say it's not played. Like, I've seen it in lots of lists before. And as I was just saying, I think it's very good with Hoplite, and it's okay with Crusader. It's good with the heroic triggers. Yeah, it's not the best on these, but I think it's decent. So no, I actually like it quite a bit. 3 Ancestral Anchors is a little weird. Feels like they just get better in multiples, so maybe having a 4th would be nice. But then again, it was also one I was cutting a little bit, so I don't know. Maybe you don't need it. I agree. 4/4 that has to attack every turn. Every time on turn 2, that may get bigger. Sweet. Exactly. Yeah, you start with a Hoplite on turn 1. I mean, this is like Mono Red Heroic instead of Mono White Heroic, right? You Lagana Band Trailblazer, and then you put an Ethereal Armor on it, and it's enormous. Same thing here. So yes, this works less with these, but I think it's really strong on the hoplite, and I think the hoplite is the best, most consistent way to actually be building and playing this deck. So like if I were like, I think the Kiln Fiend thing is, I've done that a little bit, and like it doesn't interest me as much. To be honest, if I was building like a red heroic deck, I don't know if there's enough other cards to make it good enough. But like I think that's what interested me more, is like focusing on these guys with Furor, maybe finding some other cards that buff them and stuff like that. But anyway, so that's the deck. I think that's going to be it for me for today. We were able to fit in 3 leagues in just over 4 hours with these very aggressive decks. Even though it's fun to crank out a bunch of leagues, these are not necessarily my favorite decks all the time, and so I probably won't be playing them all for a little while, but it was fun to do this today. Hydroblast is the only downside to me. That's what pushes others to play Mono White. I don't think it's the only downside, but I do think it is the biggest downside, and I think it's a very big one. Because, yeah, we literally just lost to 2 different blue decks because they had a Hydroblast on turn 1 or 2 and couldn't recover from there. Because if we're powering out a turn 1 2-drop, and then even with like a Simian Spirit Guide, and then we don't have another Simian Spirit Guide to protect it, it's pretty bad. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I'll see you next time.